Alright, so welcome to today's tropical weather update. And today, first of all, I just want to talk about really quick Cristobal right here. Well, could have been Cristobal, actually disappeared. Really think it was going to form, but apparently it did not. I think to me it was a depression for a couple hours, like last night or 2 nights ago. But for me, I think that was a depression, but oh well. Anyways, next today we're talking about a new potential Cristobal. It's currently Amanda in the Pacific, and it's what we were looking for. The GFS was hinting it for a super long time. All models were showing the system form and going through into the Gulf of Mexico, and now it's finally happening. We had Amanda as a tropical storm form right here. It's now located right around here, and it's expected to move into the Gulf of Mexico in the next couple of days. So, first of all, looking at the 5 day graph, I guess you could call it, we do have that potential area of development. Sorry about that. So, this is where this area is currently located. This is where it's likely to become a tropical depression or a tropical storm as it moves into the Gulf of Mexico. Now, something to just look at is right now models or the track on the National Hurricane Center. If I make it's pretty much like this, coming back into Mexico. So if that does happen, then we'll just see a weak tropical depression going back into Mexico. But most models are hinting towards a possible storm hitting anywhere from the Texas to the Florida borderline. So if you live anywhere basically on the Gulf Coast, even in Mexico. So to make it clear, this is what I'm going to do. If you live anywhere that's on the Gulf, you gotta watch out for this system. You could get threatened by a hurricane by next week, and you're really gonna have to watch out for that potential system. Right now, it's looking the most likely for a Texas or Louisiana landfall. Some models are indicating also potential Florida landfall, but right now, it's really most likely gonna be around here. Okay. Next up, I just really quick want to just show Amanda right here, 35 mph winds, and see if we do look at that track, it really brings it a little bit onto show now. Weirdly enough, I guess you could say, the area of development made by the National Hurricane Center is about that big. It's like, let me just try to make it the best I can. But weirdly enough, I'm just going to say, the area made by the National Hurricane Center is like this. And so really what I think is gonna happen is this storm is actually gonna come in and dissipate. Like it won't really exist anymore. But we're gonna get those we're basically gonna be getting the remnants of the storm around here. Now the actual storms I think is gonna be moving back into land. But I think like the remnants of the storm is gonna bring a spin up in an area of moisture right here in the next 5 days, which will then produce a potential tropical storm. So no, it won't be actually Amanda because it's expected to dissipate by like tomorrow. So no, it won't be Amanda. It'll be Cristobal. But the remnants of that system will help the spin up happen in that already area of moisture and stuff like that. Because if we do look, let me just get that. If we look at on the Atlantic, if we go to view 2 days, we see we do have that already existing area of moisture. And so what I really think is that Amanda, when it comes through here and goes back in there, it's going to be bringing a spin up in that area of moisture, which that will likely become a hurricane or tropical storm. So if we head to tropical tidbits, first off, let's look like we always do here on the channel. We look at every single model. So let's go to Western Atlantic. So let's first look at the GFS model. So we do have right here, we do have that storm located right over like Central America basically. But we do see that system. We do see that system kind of try to come somewhere into the Gulf of Mexico, but really doesn't quite develop into anything quite yet. But then it does give that spin up. Now, National Hurricane Center is saying the spin up will come here. GFS thinks the spin up will happen here. Now, this can still change. The spin up could happen here, the spin up could happen here. It's still in the general same area. we do get that spin up though, and we actually have a tropical storm form according to the GFS model. Then we do get a landfall as a strong tropical storm, possibly a hurricane, in the Texas-Louisiana border. So, GFS, just to kind of clear this up if you're a little bit confused, it brings Amanda kind of like this, right? But then that Amanda passing through here brings a spin up in this area, developing into a tropical storm and heading into the Texas border of Mexico. So we have those two systems. Amanda bringing the spin up into that second system, bringing it directly. Now it doesn't show any indication of a system forming here, but it could still happen. Now, we're now going to look at the CMC, see if it does show anything different. So again, we do have that system right here. So going into the next couple of days, we do have that area of disturbance in the Gulf of Mexico that actually does develop into a tropical storm where the National Hurricane Center says it's going to be. We do get that area of disturbed weather, but this actually comes back into Mexico before heading towards possibly Louisiana. So with the GFS was showing something going like this. I'm just going to show both. And now the CMC is showing a system going a little bit like this. So again, still in the same general area, but we do see that system develop in this area. Both major models are showing this system, and we do get that tropical storm landfall. A little bit of a weaker storm, but still a tropical storm nonetheless. So, I think the National Hurricane Center should change the area of development to like right here, and do include this part of the Caribbean, but it's still, in that general area of development. Okay, so NavGem, as you can see, also shows that system, but we're just good as the beginning. Again, we do have that low pressure system around the Mexico area. All right. Again, we do see that system coming in, and this is where we do get that formation agreeing pretty closely with the CMC. Now we do get that system, like I was saying, agreeing with the CMC. We do get that system making another landfall in Mexico, agreeing very closely with the CMC, and then we see a category hurricane to strong tropical storm landfall. So this is a very similar track to the CMC, kind of forming here, going over Mexico, and coming back for the Louisiana coast. So this looks to be the most likely, with two of the models already showing. Now, something I just want to say, both models do bring it this way. So what I'm thinking is possibly the GFS just thinks it won't develop until it passes this land, which at that point, both models are exactly the same, except the GFS shows a landfall in Texas. So we all see those models all forming that system. Now, I'll look at the European model at the end, the icon. This is what we really need to pay attention to, because the icon is showing some very, very strong storm. But again, we do have that system forming in the Gulf of Mexico. That system moves into the Gulf of Mexico, and this is where we get a hurricane forming. And we actually, if this holds up to be true, see a potential. So that's like a Cat 2, Cat 3 landfall. So let me look up. I think that's a Category 3 landfall, but let's hurricane. I think that's a Cat 3 landfall. Hurricane Millibar categories. So I'm pretty sure that's like a Cat 3 landfall. But I think that's what it is. I'm pretty sure that's like a Cat 2, Cat 3 landfall. Do we get that? Anyways, so yeah, that's a Cat 2, Cat 3 landfall. Now, again, don't want to scare anyone, but I really think this could develop the warm waters. It's everything. Now, this one actually shows it forming here but skimming right through here and heading for the coast as a Category 3, guys. It's crazy to think already we could be getting our major hurricane beginning June, but then we get that system coming through. So it's pretty crazy to see that this could actually be happening. So I want to look up at the European model also while we're at it. So the European model, we do see that system spinning up and developing in the Gulf of Mexico again. And then it does get that landfall in Texas. Can we see possibly like but yeah, we do see that landfall in Texas. See, low pressure system right here, 1006. So they're probably going with a more tropical storm landfall from what it looks like. We do see that potential, landfall happening. There you go, 1007, 1008, 1009. All right, so I think it's probably going to be, according to them, more of like a tropical storm landfall. But nonetheless, still some landfall. This is also showing some kind of tropical storm landfall for the Japanese model. So every single model that we know right now, let me just use this for what I'm showing. Every single model or major model shows this. We got a hurricane forming here, or tropical storm going through Mexico and moving kind of like this. So none of the models are showing anything in Florida. Now, it could still go Florida. It's still like a week out at least. So there's still so many possibilities. But here's like the current track. Okay? So if I do a cone like I like to do, this is what the cone would be. Okay? Here's our cone. So yeah, this is what we've got going on for potential Cristobal. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we could really be seeing Cristobal very soon according to this. And anywhere on the Gulf Coast should really be paying attention to that potential system that could be bringing very severe weather to the Gulf Coast.